We're going to go game by game, matchup by matchup, analyze the game scripts, and try to find those sneaky players for Week 10. Those sneaky players who we're not looking at to put in our lineups. Those sneaky players who are just going to come out of nowhere and hit. We're going to analyze the game scripts, see how they could break, and see which players could benefit from that. We're going to be going over 13 players today who could potentially be sneaky starts for your fantasy team. This is great for deep leagues. This is great for people who are having trouble with their lineups, who are hurting, who are depleted on their roster, and also for Dynasty and Devy when you're looking for those veterans off the waiver wire to throw into your lineup. But what you really need to do right now is click that subscribe button. We do things different here. We try to go a little deeper. We go deeper on the waiver wire. We go deeper setting lineups. We help you get your trades done. We talk about them rookies. We talk about the draft and everything in between. Hit that button. Stop missing out. But let's look at these 13 sneaky starts for Week 10. First matchup we're looking at today, Colts at the Patriots. 43 over under. And when we think of the game scripts when they involve the Patriots, they can go either way. They can be the ugliest game on the slate, or a sneaky game that could go off and the Patriots are slinging it all around. It's a broken team right now. It's not good for them. And we got Gardner Minshew on the road here. We could see fireworks. It could be ugly. And I'm not trying to be a politician here. It's just the range of outcomes when you look at this matchup. That being said, Jalen Reagor could be a sneaky guy. And yes, we're saying Jalen Reagor. I can't believe that name's coming out my mouth. But last two games, he saw 8 total targets and 11.3% target share, 25.5 routes per game, and a 65.4 route participation rate. Doesn't sound grandiose. One, he's supposed to be sneaky. And two, his snaps are increasing by the game, especially with Kendrick Bourne out now. He's starting to see an increase in workload. Even with Kendrick Bourne in, he was slowly seeing an increase in workload. They're starting to use him more. I think there's a chance that he could have a game somewhere down the line that he splashes, but he's also in the Patriots, so it's really hard to count on any player on the Patriots right now, but he could be a sneaky out-of-nowhere play for your fantasy team. Now we're going to be looking at the Titans at the Buccaneers, 39.5 over-under, and this game could break. It could break. The 39.5 over-under says Vegas is saying it's not, and it's going to be a low-scoring game, but it could break in this scenario. If Will Levis can push the ball downfield, get up early, and Tampa Bay just starts slinging the rock like they usually do, passing it almost 40 or more times in the game, you could see this game break. And it may not hit in the score because you can still get these fantasy assets to hit in this game in a low-scoring contest. More like a moderate-scoring contest, but still. If Will Levis can push the pace in this game, throw it downfield and connect, especially with DeAndre Hopkins, you're going to see Tampa Bay react to that, and this could be a great game to make stacks for in DFS because of the factor for that. That being said, Kyle Phillips is a guy you want to look at, and I don't like looking at Kyle Phillips. This is why it's sneaky. Treylon Burks is out. Last week, Kyle Phillips saw 5 targets, 13.5% target share, ran 21 routes, 47.7% route participation rate, caught 4 balls, 68 yards. Not the greatest thing out there. But when we're looking at sneaky plays in this matchup, one, we know where the targets are funneled in Tampa Bay. A lot of them go to Mike Evans. They also go to Chris Godwin. You can always do it like a Trey Palmer or something like that for a sneaky start. Kyle Phillips here with Treylon Burks. We got Will Levis. Still, we only got 2 starts to his name right now. So really, we need a bigger sample to see where the ball flies to. We know it goes heavy to DeAndre Hopkins deep downfield. But if it's not open deep, it looks like he's found Kyle Phillips. He likes him underneath on the short routes. That could lead to volume in this game, especially in a matchup that could go off, that could exceed expectations. Now we're looking at the Browns at the Ravens. 38 over under. This should be the ugly game of the week. Should be a nasty game to watch, but fun because it's so nasty. 2 tough defenses. These 2 teams are going to slug it out. Somebody's going to hit in this matchup, but when we look at sneaky starts from a matchup like this, the odds are even less that they're going to hit. But still, let's look at Keaton Mitchell. He is a sneaky start all the time until he's getting a large workload. 9 carries last week, 1 target. Let's see what he can do. He's got speed to burn. And really how he can be effective in this game is if the Browns defense miss an assignment on a play or two, he sees green in front of him, and he hits the home run. He's a home run hitter, and every play lines up. Every time he gets a touch or target, there's a chance he goes yard. And there's a chance he could go yard against any defense, but it's less likely against tougher defenses, but still, that makes him a sneaky start. Now we're looking at the Saints at the Minnesota Vikings. You can throw on the Vikings. This one might hit the over, but again, we've got some quarterback issues here. I get it. We're excited to watch Dobbs play and all, but still, we have to see things through here. 41 over under. Vegas is saying, hey, we like him a little bit, but we're not going over the moon because it could easily be lower than that. But we got some weapons here. We're watching Justin Jefferson too. That being said, Michael Thomas, you can throw on the Vikings. You can throw on them all day. So why not hit some underneath here? Why not go to Michael Thomas here on some of these passing plays? Let's connect with him. He's getting 5 targets a game, 13.2% target share. It's the Chris Olave offense deep downfield, but he's never going to be a sneaky start. He's running a lot of routes. He's getting some opportunities here. He has been productive on the season. This is a great matchup for him. Now we're looking at the Texans at the Cincinnati Bengals, 47 over under. This one could be fireworks. We got Nico Collins out. I don't think C.J. Stroud cares, though, because he's going to sling it downfield as he's coming back to Ohio to light things up. The Bengals' defense is pretty sharp, but their offense can push the pace as well. They got some injuries at wide receiver. Looks like Jamar Chase is going to be back. Interesting matchup. It could be a slower one. I doubt it. I think they're going to try and push the pace. It could get ugly, though. It could get ugly, but I think this is a game that could break. That under might hit, though. The under on this one might hit, but I look for them to try to push the pace here. Nico Collins out. I had the question marks there because that was prior to the news when I made this. Robert Woods is back, though. That is sneaky as you get because everyone's talking Tank Dell. And Tank Dell's not sneaky no more because everybody loves them some Tank Dell. But Robert Woods, the crafty vet here, 7.2 targets a game when he's healthy, 21.7% target share, and that's with Dell in there as well because they spread the ball around. C.J. Stroud doesn't care. He doesn't lock on to anybody. We've been talking about this all year. Anybody running routes in his offense can get it. And if you're getting open, or if you're close enough to be open, if you're even, you're leaving, he's going to throw it to you. Downfield, short field, he doesn't care. That's what we know about C.J. Stroud. Robert Woods is going to be running routes. He gets targeted on a heavy enough clip. He's going against a decent defense here. Might be getting some targets. Might be a sneaky start this week. 49ers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. 45 over under with a tight spread. And this is going to be one of the funner games to watch this weekend as we got some pieces here on both these teams that we like to watch at running back, at wide receiver, at quarterback. Everything's up in the air here. A good one to watch on TV. I'm excited to see what happens here. Juwan Jennings. Honestly, the targets and touches are concentrated on both teams, so finding a sneaky start's hard to do because we know where the ball's going. We can narrow it down to just a few players on each team. However, Juwan Jennings, 4.5 targets per game, 15.3% target share, and his snaps are increasing by the week here. Look, 38%, 53%, 74%, 85%. Part of that's due to Deebo Samuel, but still he's getting opportunities. He's still getting a chance out there, and you're not going to call Deebo a sneaky start. You're not going to call Ayuk a sneaky start. You're not going to call Etienne a sneaky start. You're not going to call Ridley a sneaky start. You're not going to call anybody really else who's really getting targets on this matchup a sneaky start. So we're going deep here, and that's going to allow someone to think outside the box with some lineups here. I don't think the odds are great, but again, if you're looking for a sneaky player, definitely sneaky. Packers at the Steelers here, 39 over under. This was expected to be a lower scoring game. I could see where it could break, but I could also see the Packers defense holding things down a little bit. But again, we got that three-headed monster at the Packers wide receiver core. We got Deontay Johnson doing some things. He's been on fire lately, especially when it comes to work rate. So that's something good to see. Really, this could break. This could break and hit the over. I could see it being slower too. I see this being a mixed bag. That's why I'm being a politician here, I guess. That's what you're saying. But I'm also talking in a range of outcomes, if you know what that means. But if you don't know, then you don't know. But I think this one could be all over the place. And I think this is one you're going to want to pay attention to. Luke Musgrave again here. We had him in the sneaky start video last week. Did all right. 4 targets, 12.4% target share lately. Running 28 routes per game. 73.7% of the routes he's been running on a route participation rate. He's getting a lot of workload. Luke Musgrave could be getting some opportunities here against a sus pass defense of the Steelers. Falcons at the Cardinals, 42.5 over under, tight spread. We got Kyler Murray back. Is Michael Wilson going to be the sneaky start? No, because everybody can run on the Cardinals, and they love them some Tyler Algier. They love giving him some touches, and both running backs should hit to some extent in this game. I could see Tyler Algier being a sneaky start because you don't want to start Tyler Algier. I don't want to start Tyler Algier. I look at him, I'm like, I don't want to start that guy. I don't want to start him. But we're playing the Cardinals here. We don't know how many touches he's going to get. It's up in the air every week. Sometimes it's too much. A lot of times it's too little. And against the Cardinals here, he only needs a few. And that's what we're looking at. Michael Wilson I do like. Might have to do a video on him. If I can get to, I'll get one out on Michael Wilson by the end of the day. Now we're looking at the Detroit Lions at the LA Chargers. 48.5 over under here. Higher scoring game per Vegas here. Tight spread. Could be a fun one to watch because we got the Chargers in there. The Lions are always in fun matchups as well. Let's see if the pace can get pushed. It could also be slower. If the Lions defense can do what they want to do, it could be slower. I just don't see that happening. Vegas doesn't either. The odds are saying it's going to be a higher scoring game. But in the realm of possibilities, it could be a little bit slower than anticipated. But we do have a sneaky play. His name is Quentin Johnston. His snaps are increasing. His routes are increasing. Didn't hit last week, but that was against the Jets. One of the tougher defenses in the league. And the Chargers will funnel their targets in certain matchups. We saw that a few times this year. They'll funnel the targets. Keenan Allen, you can spam him, and they'll spam Keenan Allen. They'll spam Eckler, and that hurts the ancillary players. Quentin Johnston is a volatile player. He's a volatile draft prospect. We saw that in collegiate numbers. We saw that on tape. But still, when you're saying DFS lineups, you're looking at lineups for fantasy. You're looking at the work rate, and it's increasing. Like, you look at the numbers for fantasy, and you're like, whoa, it's not looking good. He's not hitting. But you look at the work rates, there's something increasing each week, and I get Palmer's out and all that, but it's still leading to more opportunities, and more opportunities is just what you're looking at here, and he's getting more opportunities. Now we're looking to Washington Commanders as the Seattle Seahawks, 44 over under. Vegas doesn't know what to do with this game. That's what I feel with that number at 44. It's right in the middle, a little bit on the lower end. It's not like it's at 45 or 46. You can throw in Seattle. The Commanders' pass rush is depleted, and you can throw on that team. I look for both these teams to push the pace. I look for this to be an ugly game, but with high scoring. I look for this to really go nuclear. I look for both these teams to really go ham through the air. I look for them to both move the ball here. I could see them hitting over. It's hard to hit overs when you're in the middle of the road like that, but it could be ugly. I could see that. We could see how the quarterbacks could not do so great. I just see it hitting over. I see that being a high-scoring game at least. Even if it doesn't hit the over, it's close to that point total. I just see the wide receivers doing good things. Thinking about that, Logan Thomas, tight end of the Commanders, getting some targets, running some routes. Everything's increasing for him. A little bit volatile, but that's the tight end position. Curtis Samuel, we're watching him, see if he's in or out. He's been out, and that's caused the targets to funnel to Jahan Dotson a little bit. He's not a sneaky start anymore. You know where the targets go in Seattle. You do not ever know where the targets go in Washington. Another sneaky start for Washington. I'll give you another one. Maybe Dommy Brown. Dommy Brown from North Carolina. He gets targets here and there as well. He could be a splash play, and you never know how they're going to spread the targets around because that's how for it. He'll spread it around. He doesn't care either. He's got that C.J. Stroud in him. He's got a little bit of that. He does not care if you're open or not. If you're even, you're kind of going to be leaving, so I'm going to throw it to you. He's got that mentality. Next matchup here that we're looking at is the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants are going to be roadkill in this game. 38.5 over under. Going to be a lower scoring game. Unless the Cowboys get out ahead big, the Cowboys might be able to hit the over on their own. That's the thing about it. We could expect a lot of fantasy points on their end and just a lot of ugly on the Giants end, but maybe maybe some garbage time fantasy points out of the Giants as well. That being said, Jalen Hyatt, surprise, surprise, 3.3 targets a game, but 106 air yards a game in his last 3 games. He has been doing something here, and he has been sneaky these last few games. Hasn't been scoring many fantasy points, but that's very sneaky right there. That's a guy that could splash on any given week because he's running deep routes. He might be the Jameson Williams that we want. He might be the next Jameson Williams, and I'm not talking about that pure speed, even though he's got it, but that deep threat, just running 9 routes, running wind sprints, getting a couple of targets, and if you hit big, and if you don't, you get scores like that. That's what the Will Fuller effect is. We talk about that. You kind of want that in fantasy, but you got to know that it's fire, and it can heat your home, and it can burn your house down, and you got to manage that. Now we're looking at the Jets at the Raiders, 37 over under. We're expecting this to be ugly. Vegas is too. We got a rookie quarterback against the Jets defense. The Jets defense can do some things. We all know that. Look at Michael Carter. He's been getting targeted out of the backfield a little bit more. We're seeing a little bit more snaps out of him. Could be a sneaky start, especially in those deeper leagues. Broncos at the Bills, 47.5 over under. Most of that should be scored by the Bills. So we should see the Bills run rampant in this game. Let's see what's going to happen here, but I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. That's what they're saying with the spread there. Khalil Shakur is back. Snaps and routes are increasing. Week 9, he had a 70.7% snap share, ran 33 routes. He's getting a lot of opportunities now. And in a matchup where they're pushing the pace downfield, he's going to have opportunities to score a lot of fantasy points. Got you 9.7 last week, which isn't horrible, but not good enough still. But again, a wide receiver 3 in the offense, but he's going to get some juice. He's going to get his moments. He's going to be volatile, and that's what you're going to expect from him. But a sneaky start every week for the rest of the season. Those are 13 sneaky starts for Week 10. Let me know in the comments if you got any questions for your lineup. I'll get to them tonight. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.